the largest food and beverage company, is headquartered in Switzerland and listed on the Swiss Stock Exchange. It owns some of the most recognizable consumer brands in the world, including Nescafe, Kit Kat, Maggi, Milo, and Nesquik. These are products that dominate supermarket shelves across the world. However, behind these familiar names lies a company under serious pressure, slowing growth, ethical controversies, and a deepening crisis of corporate culture. Recently, Nestlé announced plans to cut 16,000 jobs worldwide, yet instead of falling, its share price jumped nearly 8%, its biggest one-day gain since 2008. So what's really happening inside Nestlé, and why are investors cheering while workers are losing their jobs? In this analysis, we'll break it down in a few sections. First, what led to these layoffs, then how the market and investors reacted, what that says about Nestlé's leadership and culture, and finally, what all this means for the company's long-term future. Let's unpack it. In October 2025, Nestlé confirmed plans to cut around 16,000 jobs worldwide, roughly 6% of its total workforce. 12,000 of those are white-collar roles in offices, finance and management. The remaining 4,000 are in manufacturing and supply chain operations. The company calls it an efficiency strategy to simplify operations and to save money. It also raised its cost-saving target from 2.5 billion to 3 billion Swiss francs by 2027. For management, it's about doing more with less. For employees, it's a shock. For investors, seemingly, it's a reason to celebrate. The market reaction was swift. On the 16th of October 2025, the day of the announcement, Nestlé's share price surged nearly 8%, its biggest one-day rise since 2008. Investors saw it as proof that the company's new leadership was serious about cutting costs and refocusing on profit. But to understand the rally, we need to look at the wider industry across the global consumer sector. Companies like Unilever, PepsiCo, and Procter & Gamble are facing the same storm of slowing growth, volatile commodity prices, and a consumer base that's more price sensitive than ever. After years of steady inflation, people everywhere are cutting back. Rising costs for food, energy, and housing have squeezed disposable incomes, forcing shoppers to trade down to cheaper or private label alternatives. Even loyal customers are questioning whether brand names are worth paying extra for. In emerging markets, weaker currencies make imported goods costlier, pushing buyers towards local or unbranded options. At the same time, consumers are more selective, not only about price, but about purpose. Many want brands to reflect their values, not just convenience. So if prices rise while a company's ethics seem questionable, people switch fast. All of this means big brands have less power and more competition. In response, firms across the sector are raising prices, shrinking pack sizes, automating operations, and cutting jobs to protect margins. Nestlé's restructuring fits that pattern, but with a sharper edge. The company is reacting aggressively, centralizing functions, pursuing deep cost reductions, and signaling discipline to investors. And while the market rewarded that decisiveness with an immediate share price jump, it's unclear whether such moves will create sustainable growth or simply short-term financial relief. Because in a fragile business environment defined by inflation, shifting consumer habits, and growing ethical scrutiny, cost-cutting alone won't necessarily rebuild trust or resilience. These cuts also follow serious leadership instability. In September 2025, CEO Laurent Frexy was abruptly dismissed, not for financial failure, but for ethics. An internal investigation found he had an undisclosed romantic relationship with a subordinate, breaching Nestlé's code of conduct. He denied it at first and was removed without a severance package. It was a second CEO exit in less than a year, a clear sign of turmoil at the top. and it raises serious questions about corporate culture itself, particularly for those working in or regularly encountering large corporations. Nestlé's challenges don't end in the boardroom. At the heart of its empire lies the cocoa supply chain, the foundation of its most profitable products from Kit Kat to Nesquik. Most cocoa comes from West Africa, mainly Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana, where millions of farmers earn under $2 a day. Cocoa production remains linked to child labour, deforestation and chronic poverty, issues Nestlé has promised to fix for years. The company's Cocoa Plan and Income Accelerator programs have made progress, but critics say they reach too few farmers to make a real difference. So even as Nestlé pursues financial efficiency, its human and environmental footprint remains under scrutiny. Layoffs, scandals, and ethical controversies might seem separate, but they all reveal a company culture more focused on performance than purpose. Every headline about 16,000 jobs lost chips away at a brand built on trust and familiarity. For the workers losing their livelihoods and for farmers in its supply chain, efficiency feels like indifference. There's an irony here. Nestlé's share price is rising, but its moral stock is falling. Investors see discipline. Employers see disposability. Markets applaud cost-cutting. Communities experience the cost. Short-term confidence may return, but long-term reputation takes years to rebuild. Because efficiency doesn't create loyalty, ethics and leadership do. In conclusion, Nestlé calls these changes hard but necessary. But when a company built on trust and human connection starts treating people as numbers, it risks becoming efficient but empty. The share price may have bounced, but rebuilding faith among workers, consumers and communities will take far longer. So the question remains, can a company truly succeed when its balance sheet grows stronger, but its moral foundation grows weaker? What's your view? Smart strategy or corporate greed? Comment below and subscribe for more analysis on business, geopolitics and corporate culture.